Okay, so some ice hockey news. The IIHF has upheld its ban on Russia and Belarus from international competition. This will run until the 2025-2026 international calendar, so next season as well as this season, which means we're not going to see Ovechkin or Malkin, Panarin, Shesterkin, Vasilevsky at the Olympics. We're not going to see the best Russian players participate at next year's Winter Olympics, which on a fan standpoint, on a pure ice hockey fan standpoint, on a pure playing standpoint, is a massive, massive shame. The IIHF basically their statement says the security concerns outweigh the benefits of allowing them to play. The security concerns was such that they obviously clearly discussed as members with the various authorities about security concerns, and they cannot guarantee the players or fans' safety of Russia or Belarus. They cannot guarantee the coaching staff and the players that they won't be accosted by protesters or violent action taken against them. They cannot guarantee that. And that's completely understandable. I also think there has been political pressure from some quarters to relax the ban, drop the ban. And the reason why we've had this extraordinary general meeting of the IIHF to discuss Russia and Belarus's suspension from international play. On one side, I also think on the other side, there's been pressure from other members' governments to uphold the ban. And this is the mess that you get when politics and sport intermingle in such a way. We have seen sporting boycotts and bans before. Apartheid South Africa, for example, was a prime one of international isolation in the sporting world. And Yugoslavia had been thrown out of Euro 92. They're the two where nations have actually been blocked from participating. We've also seen boycotts by Olympic committees. So the US at the Games in Moscow in 1980 in response to the invasion of Afghanistan, and the Soviet Union in response at LA in '84. So we've seen national boycotts where voluntarily a nation has refused to attend a major sporting event. Um, as I say, on a fan standpoint, it is a shame that we won't get to see Ovechkin and Malkin, for example, try and win an Olympic gold at their stage in their careers. They're nearly retired at this point. They've got a season or 2 seasons at the top level, maybe 3 seasons at most. This will probably be their last opportunity to go for Olympic gold, and that is a shame. It is a shame. Obviously, in 2022 and in 2018, the NHL didn't go to the Winter Olympics, so we were denied the opportunity to see Ovechkin and Malkin in their prime playing at the Olympics. Imagine what they could have done if they were able to go in 2018 to South Korea and in 2022 to China. Now, the Chinese games in Beijing in 2022, the NHL was going to go. It was the Chinese government COVID restriction policies that caused the NHL to pull out right at the last minute. 2018, there was a disagreement between the IOC, the IIHF, and the NHL about player compensation, player insurance, and who would be paying for what. And it's taken a long time for the NHL to be happy to release its players to compete at the Olympics again. And there's again politics to do with that as well, which meant the 2018 games wasn't as good when it came to the Olympic final and the Olympic ice hockey. Same with 2022, it just wasn't anywhere near the level it was in 2014 or 2010 in Vancouver, for example, which was the best Winter Olympics in my opinion, especially that Olympic final between Canada and the USA, where it went down to overtime and it went down to pretty much it just the viewership figures globally for that game were through the roof, not just in Canada and the USA, but globally for that Olympic final in Vancouver. And the fact that Ovechkin and Malkin and other top class Russian players like Panarin, Shesterkin, Vasilevsky, Kuznetsov are not going to be able to participate at the Olympics is, on a fan standpoint, if you want to watch the best players, some of the best players aren't available. And yeah, it's a shame, but we shall see what happens in 12 months' time. The IIHF will meet again to discuss this international ban. But we won't be seeing Russia at the World Championships, or Belarus for that matter, for at least another couple of years at best. It could be longer. It all depends on a lot of geopolitics and what happens in Eastern Europe in regards to ceasefires and political pressure. I do think there was some political pressure to drop the ban, and there was some obviously political pressure to uphold the ban. Now the IIHF are citing security concerns. Make of that what you will, but we've seen the pressure that was put upon South Africa during apartheid. That was one of the reasons why the white minority government, from pressure from its own community, from within the white community in South Africa, to end apartheid. Some of their best athletes were unable to compete under the South African flag, and there was actually pressure from the middle class and some sections of the upper class, and they started drifting away from that narrow-minded minority white rule, in part because of the ban internationally in the sporting arena. It was very, very humbling for South Africa, a sportsman country, that their best and brightest in regards to professional sport, cricket and rugby union, were not able to compete on the international stage. There was a couple of rebel tours made by a couple of nations to play in South Africa, and that caused a lot of controversy, and it became to a point where that negative publicity really hurt the South African psyche. You look at cricket and rugby union in South Africa now, it is a religion for all communities. There's a reason why they are they're the world's best in one of the world's best in two sports. When cricket or rugby unions played, it unites Africa, and that was something that they needed. So that post-apartheid World Cup in '95 was a unifier for the nation. Nelson Mandela realised to get a large amount of the white minority on side, because many of them were anti-apartheid, many were pro-apartheid, but to get them on side was to back the Springboks and to back the Proteas, the cricket team. He realised that very, very quickly, and very, very quickly a lot of South Africans got behind the new government and the new direction the country was taking, especially on a sporting standpoint. So soft power can work, and that's a positive of a sporting ban. This ban is clearly dividing opinion, and I think it's clearly dividing the IIHF. So they've decided to uphold the ban, citing security concerns, but we will see how long the ban lasts. It's going to last until at least 2026, maybe 2027. So there we go. Thank you very much for watching. Place your thoughts on Russia and Belarus and the ban being upheld, and will we actually see Ovechkin play at Olympics, or is this his last chance? But for me, for now, thank you very much for watching. Place your thoughts in the comments section below, and I'll have some more content for you guys and girls very, very soon.